You already know the rules. When you come in my house, take off your shoes and super violate that like button. It don't cost you nothing to hit that like button. Shall we begin? Shall we begin? Let's get a little bit personal, right? Let's get back to the real topics. Lately, I've been having a lot of conversations about black culture, whether we have culture. And in some cases, some people get pissed off because you got a new group of people that call themselves foundational blacks. And for those of y'all that don't know what foundational black is, that's us, the ones who was born in America. Our ancestors was born in America. We're not from Africa. We're not from Jamaica. We're not from the Dominican Republic. We're American. We the true Indians, natives, or nigga, if you know what I mean, right? The American nigga. Now, some people feel like I'm hard on black people, or maybe even black culture. But I feel like black culture was hard on me. Because in America, they say that we don't have no culture. That's a lie. We do have culture. And see, the biggest part of our culture is the streets. The biggest part of our culture is the streets. And for years, the most dominating part of our culture was New York. That New York state of mind, that New York mentality. The streets were very abusive. My biggest regret was the OGs that started this culture. Me coming from the first family of hip hop. Some of them, boy, do I wish I would have known what I know now. Because the streets and that deaf culture that comes along with the streets, that style of music, that lifestyle, that gangster persona that shaped and molded me, it cost me a lot. Where should I start? Maybe with my firstborn son. It cost me a lot. This culture, can't nobody, and I don't want to hear nobody talking about what the mob did or what this person did, what that person did. This thing, what you call culture, where some of y'all scream, oh, I just love to be black. Bravo for you. Being black in America didn't feel good to me. Say it loud. I'm black and I'm proud. Say it loud. I'm black and I'm proud. Being black in America didn't feel good to me. Oh, you sound like you hate your people. Look what my people did to me. Look what the culture did to me. Which I forgot where I come from. Bronx River Projects. The home of Africa Bambaataa. I come from the first family of hip hop. The culture. I was birthed 1976 in the culture of hip hop. That culture did me dirty. The streets did me dirty. My people did me dirty. And the path that they laid out for me, just like many others, led me to the penitentiary. led me to hospital rooms with IVs, with doctors pumping my chest, me spitting up blood, me being handcuffed to the bed, and actually charged with shooting 3 people. In that situation, the culture that shaped it and molded me cost me my firstborn son. At the age of 18 years old, I was in jail for murder. In the streets that people praise, you can't come to my hood. Niggas couldn't walk through my block. How dare a black man say to another black man, you can't come to my hood? How dare a black man glorify the fact that other black men bet not get caught walking through their neighborhoods as if we the new Ku Klux Klan. And then people sit up there and say, oh, you sound like you got a hatred towards your people. I've been charged with killing my people to protect myself. What part you don't understand? For a black man to wake up and go in a studio and write a song damn near every chance he get about hurting another black man. That's our culture. And when other black men hear this music, ante up, yak that fool. You want big money, kidnap that fool. It's the culture. We eat, sleep, and shit, destroying each other, and then go to the studio and rap about it. And those are the songs that make us who we are, the culture. At 18 years old, I left the most important person on this earth to me, which was my firstborn son. Abandoned. I was kidnapped by the culture and put in the penitentiary because I was raised by the streets. And the streets abused me. I sat back in the penitentiary and watched my life fall apart. Because the biggest part of the culture, our culture, is the streets. And it's the New York streets. I think of crime when I'm in a New York state of mind. Some of the things that I've seen, the streets, the culture, peace almighty, peace, blood, peace almighty, peace, blood. I was there in the beginning. A lot of wars on Rikers Island. But I was there in the beginning. And I got to witness the streets. There used to be a time and a point where niggas, oh, who are you to be talking on sex, money, murder? I was there in the beginning. Locked up in the penitentiary. When my big homie got his TV turned off. In the streets. He used his body to shield the little girl that got shot with him. The streets. When I found out my big homie died, Then I found out my baby mother's brother was responsible for that, not Pistol Pete, but they're still the same crew. It further tore my family apart. And it affected the relationship between me and my son. This is what the streets do. The streets is what took Pistol Pete and had him turn and flip and send a hit from prison on his best friend and used his friends to turn his friends' TV off, to the point to where that some of the dudes that did it, they told, because they couldn't live with the decision that they made after they did what they did to their friend based off of the streets. Jealousy, envy, greed. Now you got a dude that come from the most thoroughest era of New York City, went to jail, made mistakes, he made decisions, he made grown man decisions at the age of 21, 22, 23. Just that quick. Snuffed his own life out because of the streets. And now that man's sitting in ADX. Waiting to take his last breath. Confined under 23, 24-hour lockdown. This is what the culture, this is what the streets did to some of the best of our black men. Now just imagine if we were shaped and molded the right way. Instead, our lessons was corrupted. Our lyrics was corrupted. Our big homies was corrupted. Most of them niggas snitched. You know why? Because once the limelight, the streets is an illusion. And the streets have many, many different chapters. The part of our culture I would hate the most, the part of our culture, especially coming from New York. New York has the biggest holding facility in the world, which is Rikers Island. The biggest holding facility in the world. And one of the biggest part of black culture, whether you niggas like to hear it or not, is the penitentiary. Yeah, I hate some of the things that I've been through. Oh, you sound like you hate black people. I hated the fact and hate the fact that I had to survive being black from black people. So who the hell is you people to tell me that I can't speak on the things and the experiences that I've been through, dealing with my own people, and even to today, had a mental meltdown. Went back to my neighborhood, the people who owed me for turning their back on me, because some of them bastards are still there in Bronx River. None of them was there to wipe my tears. Instead, they sent the young boys or whoever they sent to turn my TV off in front of the world live while everybody was watching. All along, I'm sitting up there and I'm battling the Black Epstein, aka Africa Bambaataa. Cassie got $30 million for domestic violence. Hassan Campbell can't even get big media outlets to cover my story. Hassan Campbell can't. I'm one of the biggest personalities in America right now and can't get the big corporations to cover my story. And they know it's real. Can't get black people to cover my story. And y'all wonder why I feel some type of way about the culture? Oh, black people did a lot of things. Listen, man. A lot of black kids don't know nothing about, don't give a damn about the first black surgeon being, the first surgeon being black. They don't, who cares? Especially when we ain't getting free schooling to become surgeons. One of my biggest regrets in black culture is the streets. Because if I could have took my younger days and younger years to switch my mentality up to be a go-getter, then maybe at this point in time in my life, I would actually have my foundation laid as far as being a business owner and having all the land that my children need to pass down to my grandchildren. We waste our best years living that street life, living that thug life, and living that gangster persona, that gangster mentality. And you know the crazy part about it is, sometimes dudes find out at the wrong time that they don't want it no more. And most of the time that they find out that they don't want that lifestyle no more is when they got locked up again for the last time. And that last bid hurt them worse than the first bid. The culture. The best parts about our culture that's celebrated, the most beautiful things about our culture that's celebrated, it leads to the hellfire. Especially, and let me say this, if you ain't from the streets and you ain't never touched that hot stove called the penitentiary, if you ain't never touched that hot stove called the penitentiary, if you don't know what it's like to hear the screams of a mother, to have to bury her son because her next door neighbor done turned her son's TV off, and now families that used to be friends are now enemies based off of things that happen between kids, and there's an animosity that you just can never fix. It's nothing wrong if you grew up in a suburb, because chances are you had a way better life than me. But here's the reality of it. If you come from where I come from, Bronx River Projects, the Bronx, grew up in an era where most of the Bronx was burnt down and niggas was doing backflips on pissy mattresses, graffiti all over the place, crackheads, dope fiends. If you ain't come from that era, that New Jack City era, that Boys in the Hood era, that Minister Society era, that King of New York era, you can't relate to me. Most of my big homies are the niggas that I looked up to are dead or in jail. And the ones that's still around, they got stories to tell, and they ain't good. See, the reality of it is, the streets is like being in a domestic violence situation where a woman going back home to her man and he keep beating her up. That's what the streets do to you. The streets is the biggest part of our culture. And it's the worst part of our culture. But somehow, some way, through all the pain, we figured out how to be talented. Our music is worldwide because our pain ran deep. Our music is worldwide because our pain, it ran deep. And now that the corporations that kidnapped our culture and they own it, the same way they own us, well, that's a whole nother video. It's just something I got to get off my chest, and I'm still not even done. This is just part one of my rant, you know. The streets got an expiration date. The streets don't love nobody. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. And that's the worst part about it. I want y'all to keep it funky. Those of y'all that's watching this video, I want y'all to keep it funky. Every time we glorified the streets, we disobeyed our mother. Every time we brag about the streets, and I'm talking about the ones that you know, that we had parents that tried to raise us right, grandmothers and mothers that beat us with switches and extension cords, telling you no, don't go that route. But after we got a certain age, they couldn't do nothing with us. I remember my mother told me she had to let me go so that she could save her other kids. She had other kids that she had to worry about. And I was too dangerous because I was what the streets made me. And everything about what the streets made me was something that my mother hated. But niggas got nerve enough to talk about, oh, you hate black people. No, I hate our culture. If I stop at the wrong gas station in the wrong hood to get some gas, or on my way back from the South, back to New York, gassing up, I might not make it home. I'm supposed to be in love with that. Hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that subscribe button, and pay attention to your circle before they hurt you. Live life as if you're on a run and stay dangerous at the same time. Hold up. Stay dangerous. Live life as if you're on a run. Y'all don't hear my slogans? On a run from whom? My own people. Stay dangerous. Who am I have to clap? My own people. I'm out.